A fact. And you a married man, correct?
Yeah, 14 years.
14 years?
Yeah.
Man, see, I want to get this in. We don't talk to many successfully married men. So I want to get your views on the modern day dating market. Now, you being out of it for 14 years, but having a front row seat due to Instagram and talking to homies that's single and social media, YouTube. How do you feel about what you see as far as the landscape of modern day dating compared to when you met your wife?
I'm glad we got married when we got married. You know what I mean? I'm glad I didn't wait to find my person till right now. You know what I mean? Because the options are few and the access is grand. You know what I mean? Like, options are few, but the access is grand. And so I value my marriage and my wife beyond, like, helped me change my life to be a better person. I got my son and my daughter and my other son. And it's like, I just want people to be able to see, like, what is good about marriage. Because I think right now it gets shitted on a lot because of different outlooks and aspects and these battling opinions about, oh, well, 50-50, or somebody should go whole, or what should a man be able to do? And we're in a new place and time where there's, like, really no fucking standard. It's like every relationship is whatever your relationship is. Like, in the first sign of turmoil, I'm out. Because guess what? There's 100 bitches on Instagram that I can go get at in they DM, and guess what? They with it because they don't have access to as much as men do right now. Like, men, we winning. Men are winning because back in the day, you had to go out and get something and go conversate. Now it's just like hit the phone, and they thirsty because men are in jail. We got a lot of gay niggas out here. So when you are a solid black man with your head on straight, they're handling business, nigga, you amongst a rare breed.
You're a god amongst men.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so you really have your choice. Like,
you pick of the litter.
Pick of the litter. Yeah. So it would be difficult. It would be difficult right now to have if I was single right now, to have my eyes open to being focused on that. You know what I mean? Because there's so many fucking distractions. When I found my wife, I was in a place where I was looking for a person. I was looking for a woman to be there, you know? And so I found her, but I think, like, right now it's a little bit harder with all of this. Nigga, you could go to fucking Dominican Republic and go get the baddest bitch for $30.
I keep telling you. Passport, bro.
So you believe now it's more quantity than it is quality of women that actually can even be wise? Because a lot of these females be like, oh, I want to get married. I want this. I want the nigga last name. But to me, I don't think they want to be wise. I think more so they just want the mirage of the fairy tale of having a wedding.
Right. And that's really what it is, because there's this false sense of security with marriage, right? Like, oh, you know what? I'm going to get married and everything's going to be fine. No, you're still going to be a hoe. Your ass is still on Instagram. And then there's still going to be men out there that are going to come up to your husband. Like, they don't understand that there's a paper trail behind your wholeness. You know what I mean? Like, you're leaving a paper trail. And men don't respect a woman that is like, doesn't respect herself. And so you expect a man of this, like you just talked about Kevin Samuels. Like, he was like putting out the blueprint, like, to women. They thought he was bashing them, but he was just really just laying out the facts. Like, this is what men want. Mm-hmm. And if you're not this, guess what? You can't get a high value man. Yeah, and that's just like basics, but some women are so diluted with their thoughts that shit was just going over their head. Like, oh, he hates women. Actually, he's trying to help you.
Right.
He's literally trying to help you, especially our women. You know what I mean? Like, especially our women. And it's like saddening because I love them so much, but we're hurting right now. You know what I mean? As a community, because there's such a battle from male to female, and who's supposed to be what, and I deserve this and this and that. Like, why don't you just listen to me? Like, I have built this. I know what's going on. I'm in these streets. I'm in the world. Take my advice instead of somebody's advice on Instagram, or somebody that is somebody in the beauty salon. And that's like, it's got us lost right now.
It's fucked up. I think mentally, a lot of people check out. Like, most people probably check out after high school, but if you go to college or whatever, you know what they say, if you don't use it, you lose it. So I think mentally what people's brains is that it's like being in 2024, but you still stuck in 2008. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a big problem when it comes to our women. You use your brains on a natural day, but far as acquiring information, still learning and growing about yourself, I think that's foreign to a lot of people in general, not even just women, but men too. And I think that's where we all go wrong because people feel like they can't learn no more or they can't elevate in the space where you might think you know everything and outside looking in like playing chess, it's like, damn, you made all these dumbass moves and you can't see clear about nothing.
Another thing you said too. Yeah.
That's bars
That's
because
good right there.
because like you said, there's no real blueprint right now how to be successful because we're in unprecedented times. There's never been a time in human history where
You can't look at a person and know their gender.
you can't look at a person, don't know their gender.
You can
We've
look
never
at,
had that.
Like, what is this?
The first time in human history where the average citizen makes over 70,000, 77,000, but can't afford the home in their neighborhoods. That's never happened.
Right.
Men and women have always, okay, if you work at the damn factory making 30,000, you still can afford the house, the job, the vacations.
And put your kids through school.
And put your kids through school. Right now, you need 2 of them jobs, 2 just to scrape by. And like you said, women are stuck way back in the past when men were able to do that. Where now it's damn near impossible for anybody to the point where millionaires are now crying, saying, man, we need to save our money. Jim Jones just came out and said, look,
Right.
bro, don't believe nothing you see on the gram. Don't believe none of these rap
niggas is
niggas.
broke, yeah.
It's ugly. We going into a time never seen. Stack your money. And this is a multi-millionaire, famous rapper saying this. So if you can't get that as a working class citizen,
Right.
you just don't understand what's going on. And how do you not? You been in the grocery store?
But they-
eggs is $10 a carton.
Right.
But
but what's even worse, they killing niggas for having real jobs. It's like a bitch would be mad that a nigga not working. Then they laughing at the nigga for working.
Yeah,
Like,
you a
see
bum,
all
you
these
got a
shit,
9 to 5, you not
fuck.
scamming,
They
you a
laughing.
bum.
I seen one clip, the nigga, he like, y'all work here, and the female like, what is y'all laughing at? Like, the nigga got a job. Bitch ain't even got a job and clowning the nigga.
And they
Like,
don't know the value of a dollar.
No.
They
Right.
don't know the value of a dollar. That's the other thing. It's like ignorance. You know what I mean? Like they're not intelligent, financially intelligent, and they think that they can say, "I want my man to make $400,000 a year." Yeah, where is he?
Yeah. Do you
Have
even
you
know what
ever
that
even
is?
met one? Have you ever even had a conversation, young lady? Have you even had a conversation with a nigga that makes $400,000? Do you know how much a bus driver makes a year? They don't know anything, but they think that this number is what's reality. Like, what's wrong with a bus driver making $65,000, $70,000 a year? Yeah, it may not be $400,000, but if he's treating you right, where's the value system?
They don't even
Where's your-
care about the treatment,
You know
gang.
what's even more crazy? What I learned about the delusion sometimes, because every time we've had women on here, they all say they had an ex that made millions or certain X amount
that
of
nigga
money.
had a rental.
It
That
never
nigga, yeah.
fails. They be like, what happened to that?
I didn't want him. I didn't want to keep him.
I got
Bitch,
tired
what you
of
up here saying? You want the millionaire. You let one go? Like, let's be for real,
That should be
gang.
crazy.
No, I think another thing, like you said, was the standard. There is no standard. Everybody kind of dictates what it is in their relationship. I feel like back in the day, there were standards. Like, this is how you know what I mean, conduct yourself as a woman. This is how you conduct yourself as a man. This is a husband material. This is wifey material. Now it's kind of like, well, whatever we say to make myself feel better about kind of what I'm doing in the world. So if I'm an OnlyFans girl and I got 120, 200 bodies, whatever, I'm going to say that's the standard. And then whoever wants to adhere to that, that's okay. Instead of being like, hey, girls who do sex work that kind of way, they're not wifeable, which is kind of what we be saying up here. You know, that's disrespectful as a man. I don't want that. But that's became one of the standards to say, you know what, okay, that's cool. She does OnlyFans, we'll accept that. And it just continues on and on.
But
and on.
when I was younger, the hoes didn't have problem being hoes. You knew they was hoes and they knew they fucking lane.
Right.
Versus trying to be undercover hoes and still want the wifey role. That's what a lot of things get mixed up too, because they be out here doing whatever the fuck they do behind the scenes, and then you acting like you want to come home to a nigga every night. You still can go home. You still can go home to that pimp every night. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Clock your dollars. He's still going to accept you and give you the things that you need as a woman. But stop trying to portray you want to be a wife and married, but then you out here throwing your pussy a party on weekends.
That's programming. That's the effects of feminism telling women you can have it all. You can be the hoe. You can go get ran through for your whole 20s. And when you're 45, you can settle down and still have kids because Ashanti, a multi-millionaire, or Janet Jackson, a multi-millionaire, had kids. Bitch, you live in the projects. The fuck you mean? You don't have access to the same medical system as them. You're not going to get the same results. You're not Janet. You're not Ashanti. And
They had surrogate parents.
Right. Yeah.
Bitch, they had surrogates and shit. You think man, and it's so crazy because I want to get your view on this because you're actually married.
Okay.
Where I talk to women And they'll ask you, do you believe in gender roles? You like, yeah, you know, there's roles for men, there's roles for women. Oh, you're misogynistic. You're a misogynist. You hate women by just saying you believe in gender roles. Like, that's how insane it's got. They don't understand being a wife is a job. You have a role. Being a husband is a job. You have a role. And you guys are two different genders, thus the term gender roles. So give them some insight on what type of things your wife does without a complaint. Like, she just knows, okay, I'm the wife, I got to do this. You're the husband, you do that. Like,
and so this, like, I'll say this, and I don't want to cross the line or whatever, but the things that my wife does, she came to the relationship doing. There was no demand of me to say, hey, you're going to cook every night and you're going to clean, or you're going to do this or anything. Like, my wife was who she was. You know what I mean? And she came with those values. So it's like, if you find somebody that doesn't have those values and you try to implement those in that person, you can't expect somebody to be something they never shown you to be. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to marry the right person that fits your lifestyle. Like, if this is your lifestyle and you want a woman that's going to fit and be the piece of the puzzle there, you have to pick the right woman. You have to pick the right piece. You can't pick somebody who can't cook and you only like food being cooked at home every night and she's not a cook. It's like we have to be smarter with who we choose to lay down with and who we choose to be our partner and to fit our lifestyle. So my wife, she cooks. My wife cleans. My wife, she's a highly educated woman. She has a high-powered job, and she supports me in the things that I want to do in life. You know what I mean? Like, I have a great job. I was in aerospace. Now I build electric boats and in the tech field. But she also gives me the room to go and search for my ventures that I want to do. You know what I mean? And she's supportive. And so that's how she's always been, though. And so I think, and she's not a runner. She's not going to run from a problem. You know what I mean? Like, she's going to actually sit down. We're going to communicate about some shit and figure out, how do we get past this? Can we get past this? Is this a problem? And so she really helped me become a communicator, because before it was like how we deal with built up aggression is like, I'm out. Or if it's a dude, like, nigga, fake, like fair one, whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, but we're not about to talk about why I'm mad at you. We gonna get them up, and if we good afterwards, we good afterwards. But we're never gonna discuss why we got here. We good? Okay. But my wife helped me become a communicator, and like reading books like Emotional Intelligence 2.0, Power Now, like looking at Eckhart Tolle and Dale Carnegie and certain things of how to convey
high power.
I feel like,
you know, like, and so like that, but being with my wife, this is the crazy thing. Being with my wife gave me the peace and opportunity to be able to sit down and read. You know what I mean? Because before, my life was so hectic. When the fuck was I gonna read?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, when did I have time to sit down and be in a relaxed space? Like, let me check this book out. No, I wasn't in that place, but she came into my life and provided that space, that peace where I was like, okay, like, and it helped me advance. Like, her giving me peace helped me level up in life as a man. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't make me become a man, but she gave me the opportunity and the room that I needed to stretch my elbows and grow.
A lot of things I think people don't understand also, when you have relationships like with your spouse and stuff, sometimes it can be reflections on a lot of things that you need to work on yourself as a man or a woman. Right. So she might be nitpicking at things, you might be on certain things, but a lot of these things we attract is because you need to learn certain lessons about yourself as a man and learn how to elevate. You might have a space where you arguing a lot. You might learn how to, like you said, to communicate right and move through certain processes of things. So I think people need to look deeper below the surface when it comes to relationships. People only look at the five senses, and now it's just about money and sex. But outside of that, if you're dealing with a woman that you fucking all the time, what do y'all really have in common? You know what I'm saying? Right. Outside of the money or the sex. So it's just like, on the spiritual aspect, I don't think people even understand those concepts of why certain things is going on. You might have inner child issues, and these is spilling over in your fucking grown mentality in a relationship.
100%. Yeah. Like, it's because you bring your trauma along with you, right? Especially if you haven't dealt with it. Like, you can bring along your insecurities. Like, my wife used to be on me about going out. Like, going out, and I used to be like, oh, you just on me because you think I'm gonna be on some bitches or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, and she used to be on me when I'll go out. And I used to be telling her, like, my thought process of why she was giving me a hard time was, oh, you think I'm a cheat, or you think I'm gonna go do something. But when I sat down and talked with her and communicated, she was like, no, I was just worried because you would go out and drink and be driving drunk. And I didn't want you to be unsafe. But my insecure thinking and my place of like, oh, you think I'm about to be out here on some nigga, like, no, nigga, I'm just worried about your safety.
And maybe that's something that you experienced prior with other women that you brought into that relationship.
Exactly.
I think too, a big part what you're saying, about marriage is obviously love, but the little things that women or men do that are outside of marriage, right? Like I could love you all I want. You could be attractive all you want, but now we're going to own a home together. And I need to see other, what's the word for it? Morals and values that you have instilled in you that are going to take us far. Right. Like I might not want somebody, I might love you, but you might be bad with money. You might be super lazy. You might be unhealthy. All these different things that could ultimately lead to your downfall as a man and your family. So it's very important to pick more than just something or a way somebody makes you feel. It has to be more than that. It has to be more practical as well. And I think that's something that we've strayed away from. It's literally just about, like you said, I'm attracted to you. Do you got money? Cool, we'll figure it out later. And then even when they do get to later, they don't even want to figure it out.
Right.
I think.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I just want to touch on one thing. The key point that you said was, to me, that stuck out, is your woman already was what you was looking for. So she was already a wife before she was a wife.
Right.
So I think it goes back to say, and I've said this before, it's like, damn, when you get a woman like that, and if you sit there as a man and ask yourself, now, if this woman would never change, could I be with this woman forever, regardless? You know what I mean? Could I accept her for who she is if she never grows from here on out? Regardless, we want to teach and grow with our woman, because I feel like if you don't grow with somebody, you're going to eventually grow apart. But if I think that's in hindsight of looking at certain things in relationships, of you trying to change somebody, and it's like, nah, you putting the blinders on yourself. Accept this person for who they is, either deal with it or move the fuck on and find out what you're really looking for.
That's 100%. And like the other part of it is, what, like as a man, what are you bringing to the table? If you're going to have demands of values that you want in your woman, what values does she want in her man also? Do you have those values? And my wife wanted security and protection and love, you know what I mean? And those are things that I provide naturally as a person. Come from the east side, I don't want to say we, but most of us ain't scared of a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Like, we willing to go into any environment, chest out, head up, into any room, right?
Right.
And so she had not really dealt with that kind of energy, right? So when you bring that to the table, then you get to see your woman operate in a different space than she's ever been comfortable operating in, because she feels protected and she feels safe to be that. You know what I mean? Like, imagine a woman going through life never feeling safe, never feeling protected with her man, you know what I mean? And so you get the opportunity to see a side of your woman that nobody gets to see, because she's actually in a safe space to be her.
I feel like this is why marriage doesn't get promoted, because a lot of people who are married happily, they don't really go online and complain. So I feel like this is why.
Oh, I got some complaints.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure you don't get it. But like, what I'm saying is that.
Don't get it twisted.
But what I'm saying is that you understand the nuance to that, right? Like, you're not coming on here saying like, don't get married, this and that. You giving us the nuance of what a relationship is. She works, I work, she's educated, I'm educated, etc. Whereas you got a lot of people who come on here and just say, hey, fuck women, or hey, fuck dudes, or whatever, or don't get married, or whatever the case is, instead of we having that other side to it of marriage where it's like, hey, this is how we've grown and learned, together. I think that's cool.
He made another valid point earlier, basically saying that most people are so quick to quit on shit versus fighting to stay. You know what I'm saying? Instead of figuring out whatever the problem is and we move on and learn from here. This ain't going right, I'm out of here. Or they listen to their friends, or they listen to outsiders, and then now they want to get up out of here. Really, when they know they want to stay and figure it out, but now you got this influence by everybody else outside of you, and you're not thinking for yourself, and now that shit just crumble. So if it ain't from a solid foundation from the jump, that shit is beginning already to end.
The reason I brought it up is that very reason you said, Kali. You don't get happily married people online talking about it because they're already flourishing. So even trying to get guests on the show, when you approach married women or married men, they kind of like, nah, we don't want people in our relationship. We doing fine.
I think
they don't even want to expose themselves to the negative energy of the internet, which is why when you see these podcasts speaking on relationships, it's only from the views of the bitter, the hurt, the damage, because they just want to get out there and spew how hurt they are and talk about how fucked up the other gender is. So to get a different view of that lifestyle, that's mainly why I brought that topic up, because you don't hear it often. It's rare you're gonna get happily married people on a podcast talking about how happily married they are.
And I firmly believe they're smart enough to know we're not gonna have everybody in our business.
Yeah.
This is we keep this solid with us. So this been working for us. Why would we go on here and spill all this out? And like you said, so people start attacking they shit, and now they create more chaos where it could have just been smooth how they've been having it. I think more so we don't have a lot of that either programming on TV. Like when you had the Cosby shows or what was that, Family Matter, all those type of shows back then where the
Husband and
nuclear
wife.
families was together. Yeah, more positive, the fathers in their lives. Now we see single families, cartoons with fucking 2 dads. We ain't never seen no shit like that as kids. You know what I mean? So it's different now. And these kids are seeing that weird shit. They putting so much gay shit on TV. It's absurd to me.
Trying to
Nigga
make
don't even
Abraham
watch
Lincoln
it
gay.
like that.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this too, because we have a generation of people chasing the honeymoon phase. I've seen a tweet where a female said, "It don't even matter if I'm in a relationship. I always have guys on the side that I text, and I don't even know why. That's just me."
Oh, yeah, I
and that
seen
just made me
dumbass
think
shit,
like,
this bitch out her brain.
bitch, you chasing that constant honeymoon phase feeling where the first 90 days, the first 3 months, everything is peaches. And after that, the work starts to kick in. It's like, all right, the high has came down. The dopamine has come down. Same thing with marriage. The dopamine is at an all-time high because you want this marriage, this big party, celebration, honeymoon. After that, y'all back home. Okay, now, hey, we still got a job to do.
Right.
We still
Nah,
got
you-
work
you-
to do.
you-
We still got building to do.
I seen Umar say that. I seen him actually. He just was on an interview with the Breakfast Club, and he said he thinks one of the reasons why marriages don't last in the black community is because we wait so long to get married. So we'll be together for however many years, and at that moment we're together in ego. That's what he was saying, is like, we're putting on a show for you, you putting on a show for me. Once we get married, we have that ego death, and then we start to see each other for who we really are. And that's why you'll have people who are together for 7 years get married on the 7th year, and then by the 8th year be divorced, because they didn't really know each other up until that actual marriage time.
See, I think go back to what you say, but I say the same thing. I give people 6 months. I meet the representative first. You know what I mean? You meet somebody, everybody wants you to like them and do what you do in the beginning. The moment they get comfortable, all the things I liked about you, you got comfortable and stopped doing. So now it's like, damn, you're a different person, and this is where the mix comes in. I think far as when relationship wise, like it's like you said, it's a job. It's constant work. You have to constantly keep dating the person you're dealing and constantly keep learning this person. I might not be the same mentally that I was 4 years ago when you met me, or whatever the case it may be once that honeymoon phase went off. When you start to spend so much time with somebody, I don't give a fuck who you is, you're going to get tired of them. You're not going to always like this person. It's not going to always be peaches and cream.
Right.
And I think far as having that sense of reality and accepting that, it's like, okay, let me do more things to be better for you, and you do more things to be better for me. And that way it's a competition in a positive way, instead of me pointing out every flaw you got and you point out every flaw I got. And I think people take out of context what I know a lot of women do. It's like, if I don't like something, you have to detach from the problem. Like, the problem is here. It's not you. The problem has to be here, and
That's a
you're
good one.
here. You know what I'm saying? So when I speak on something that I'm not liking that you're doing, it's not you. It's the problem. So
not an
let's fix
attack.
this problem, get that out the way, and we can go back to smooth selling. So I think that's where we all go wrong too. Like you said, they feel attacked. Or you owe me this, and that. Now you just going back and forth about nothing.
Messiah came out with that. He came out with that ism.
You did it too. You did it too.
Yeah.
Messiah came with that ism today, man.
Because he's 100% right. Because
facts,
you're not,
yeah.
now you're not dealing with the issue, you're just dealing with the person. And you're not even coming up with a solution, and you're just dealing with the person, you're just getting into it. He's 100% correct, because if you don't attack the problem, where you end up with
Bars.
a problem. It's still
Look,
there.
bars.
You know what he
Bars.
said though? Oh, go ahead, my bad.
Like people will put up with more bullshit at work than they will at home.
That's a fact.
Ooh, facts.
You know what I mean? You put up with a horrible boss or a horrible coworker, or you let people talk down to you at work, but then you come home and try to act like a boss and like you don't put up with shit. You swallow a horse all day, but won't go home and swallow a pill.
Facts.
So that's the
Whoa.
thing. Like, you have to be in a place of comfort with yourself and be secure in who you are. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna go out into this world and give them this fake great energy and then come home my battery drained, and I ain't got nothing for you. You know what I mean? Like, you have to always remember, when you come home, you want to be the best you. Because guess what? Those are the people that deserve the best you. Your children and your wife. And the other thing is, if we don't share our trials and tribulations, no one else learns from them. So if I don't get on here and tell you that about my marriage and the strifes that we've had and the troubles that we've had, it just looks like it's all peaches and cream. And then when you come into a problem, you like, damn, I didn't hear about this shit. This is Rios didn't talk about that.
Come man, that shit easy. Yeah,
This shit sound like
you supposed to be
Disneyland.
Yeah,
Nigga, what the fuck? Hey, look, even at Disneyland, the rides break down and require maintenance to get it back going. So it's not going to always be peaches and cream. The roller coaster ain't always going to be going. Sometimes you got to do routine maintenance. But I'm going to end it on this. Ladies, when we come home from work and we park that car and we ain't came in the house for 5 to 10 minutes, do not text our fucking phone or call us or come down asking, are we coming into the house? Let us decompress. Get the bullshit off because we don't want to come in spazzing on you and the kids. Let me breathe. Let me get my breather. Let me get my scroll on for a little bit and I can come in and be Superman. But leave me the fuck alone for that 5 to 10 minutes. Let me have that.
And one more thing, when men are quiet, stop thinking something always wrong with a nigga.
Thank you, man.
Damn, I hate that shit. Let me be quiet and peace for a little bit. God damn, let me enjoy being with myself for a moment. That's the first thing they ask you, what's wrong? Now you finna make me mad.
Right, nothing was wrong until you asked me 55 times what was wrong.
And
bitch.
now she mad. Now she mad. You like, oh shit.